Welcome to your Friday Football Fix. I'm with Alex Rae. Alex, only one story in town, that fantastic win by Rangers against Antwerp in Europe. Can I just start by getting your reaction to it? It was an incredible game of football.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing, and it was end-to-end stuff. Couldn't imagine, the amount of defensive frailties for both sides, but it was enthralling, and it was an emotional rollercoaster. Actually, most of the times you see Rangers play defensively, they're very good, and but it was a classic Europa League tie, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Rangers not playing with the usual defensive security that we're used to seeing this season. How impressed were you with that?
Well, I think Steven Gerrard said that he felt as if, there was a few mistakes. And when you get to that level, you get punished. And that's exactly what happened last night. I think it's a good learning curve for this group in whole. And, I think there'll be a few players in there when you're at that level, you can't defend like that. But they showed some real character and real spirit, because to go on and win that match, I don't think you could actually say that a couple of years ago. There's a real determination within this squad to actually get results. And they've gone a long way to proving that.
Without chucking a bucket of cold water over that win, how you mentioned some, mistakes were made. There were mistakes made. How did the squad deal with those and build on them?
Well, you analyse it. I think Steven Gerrard has a very good backroom team. They'll analyse all the key points where they went wrong. And again, if it's an individual mistake, you may well just pull someone to the side, have a chat in his ear, maybe go through it on the training ground if you've got time, just to kind of familiarise yourself for the next game, because they've obviously got to face Antwerp again next Thursday, so they have to deal with that as well. So I think there's lots of learning curves from a result like this as well, because defensively they've been so sound over the course of the season. I think they've conceded 8 goals in 29 in the league, which is a remarkable statistic. And I think when you look at the statistics in general, but this is a group of guys and a management team that's evolving, and they're on the cusp of winning a title for a long time as well.
I can't wait for the second leg.
Oh no! I listened to you last night. I was like a bus couch. I was commentating on the match, and it was like an emotional roller coaster. Because one minute you think, right, okay, Rangers are back on top, and then Antwerp will strike, and you're going, oh my God, here we're going with this. But it was an amazing game to be involved in. I know a lot of people out there are struggling at the moment, and to actually get that kind of game, it was like, as I said, I've been speaking to a few people today, and they were like, what a remarkable tie, and we're all at the halfway stage.
What dangers do Rangers face going into the second leg, Alex?
You're absolutely right. I think they've got some key players coming back next week as well, so they'll get thrown into the mix. That'll be a different challenge for Rangers. Rangers have to... I'll be interested to see what they do at the right back berth. Steven Gerrard say they may have to go into the market, which would suggest that maybe somebody is a free agent who could maybe come in. But to throw someone at that kind of deep end with what's at stake, I thought Balogun come in, who's naturally a centre back. He played right back last night. I thought he was immense. He was like a galloping fullback, and I think that shows great character for that guy, because he came in very late to the transfer window as a replacement for Katic, and he's been an absolutely tremendous addition. And you have to give credit to the recruitment department, because it's not easy to actually go out and get a replacement of that quality, an international footballer.
With Tavernier out, it could have been an amazing opportunity for Nathan Patterson. What do you make of the COVID breach and how Steven has handled all of that?
Yeah. Listen, it's very difficult for the management team, because you're preparing for a match and then you have to deal with something out with your control. I think Rangers have been absolutely top drawer. When you look at their preparations, I think there's only 2 players that have stepped out of line, and they have been sent out on loan, which is a hefty punishment when you're going for a title and things. There's a lot at stake. So for these guys to go and do that on the back of 2 guys already stepping out of line, I said on Monday night when I was covering the radio, I thought it was madness. Whoever suggested the idea, why don't we just go and party, it was beyond me. I understand that they're young guys, but under the kind of confines of the athlete bubble, you just can't do it. And you look at a young Nathan Patterson, that would have been an ideal situation for him to go in to get an opportunity. They've got big high hopes for Patterson, Calvin Bassey as well at left back, and they 2 guys were the natural stand-in players for Barisic and Tavernier, and they're not going to get that opportunity now. And I would imagine the guys would have been sitting there last night in the house, self-isolating. They've got a club punishment. They've still got to go in and see the manager. I'm not sure they've seen Steven Gerrard face-to-face as well, because of the COVID isolation protocols. So they're going to have to go into that situation as well as young guys. I'm not sure where they're going to be going down the line, whether they get another opportunity, whether they send them out on loan. But what an opportunity missed. to be involved in that game, it would have been an opportunity to play at a level where, you could have showcased your talent. And unfortunately, he's kind of passed up that opportunity because of the kind of stepping out of line. And listen, I don't think there's anyone else in this situation. There's a lot of people paying a hefty price as well due to the restrictions. So these guys are no exceptions.
Very frustrating for Steven Gerrard as well. And he does have, a big problem to solve now.
I think Ryan Jack could also go into right back. He's played there for Scotland a few times. The one thing about Ryan Jack is he's playing so well in the middle of the park. He's a key player. You've seen that last night when he came on later on in the game as well. And Steven Gerrard's want to protect him at times. There's so much at stake. These guys are not kind of grasping the magnitude of this, because you're chasing down a title. They're not going to be able to play in the next couple of weeks, and there's potentially a ban on the back of that as well. So when you factor all that in, it's put Steven Gerrard in a really difficult position, and it's key that they actually get Tavernier back up to speed as soon as possible. I think that could be a few weeks down the line yet, hence the reason why they have to go out and try and get a free agent, and that isn't ideal when you're in the middle of February.
Just turning back to the league, Rangers play Dundee United on Sunday. Steven has said he'd be happy with 1-0. Is it just a case of getting the job done now?
Yeah, I think when you look over the last 5 or 6 weeks, there's been quite a few 1-0s. It's just about getting the result. Performances go out the window. You're chasing down a title and you have such a commanding lead. You don't want to drop any points. And it's just about chalking off the games. Dundee United get a good win last week as well. So they come up there. Boyd, Lawrence Shankland back in good form as well. So defensively, they have to be sound. They've only conceded 1 goal in 14 games at home this season. It's a remarkable statistic. But they have to do that. I think one of the issues for Steven Gerrard this coming weekend will be when they play domestically, a lot of teams have a low block. So then you have to find the solutions to that. And if you don't have a right back of Tavernier's quality, then that's one of your key components going forward, taking out the equation. So whoever steps in there's got a big task to try and fill his boots.
It is shaping up to be one of the most memorable seasons ever for Rangers. If you were to put your finger on, one thing that Steven Gerrard has done to secure this success thus far, one thing, what would that be, Alex?
Yeah, that's fairly easy, that question. It's consistency. When you look at it, I think they've lost one game in 41 games. I think it's a remarkable level of consistency, and I don't think you could label that over the last couple of years. They would win 4 or 5 games and then would lose one or draw one, and it just lost that momentum. But when you look at it at the moment, and it's difficult to put it down to one, but consistency is most certainly there, and then the foundation at the back with the clean sheets has been absolutely remarkable.
Alex, great.
I know. Listen, sorry, I know that was 2. You asked for 1, but I gave you 2. 2 for the price of 1.
You did get in a cheeky second one there, but we'll give it to you. Alex, thank you so much for joining us here on Friday Football Fix, and can't wait to catch up with you again soon.
You take care. Thank you.